Hi, I'm Amber and today we are doing a shell challenge that Lilsimsie uploaded almost a year ago now, but I'm finally getting around to posting it, so let's get straight into the video. So as you can see, I decided to build the shell on the Penthouse apartment in San Myshuno. I think it's like a fun place to build a shell challenge because it's like a little bit different than just building a house with it, and this turned out really cute. I'm really happy with how this build turned out. And so I'm just placing all the apartment items that you need to have, and you can see I squeezed the elevator into that little bit in the corner. I think that works out quite nicely. And because I built this quite a while ago, I'm going to be honest, I can't remember everything I did in this build, but I do remember that it turned out really cute, and I had to make sure I got it on my channel eventually. So I do remember, however, though, it is like such a cute build and I decorated it really nicely. So you can see just getting the basics into the build so far and making that kind of like lobby area where you step out of the lift. I chose to do that big glass door coming in to the apartment. I think that looks really nice and like very modern and airy and light. And that was kind of the vibe of this build, is that it's very modern and like very homey though, very warm wood colours and things like that. And then we're onto the kitchen. It's a very open plan style build because this is just kind of like not that big of an apartment, so I made it quite open plan. And this kitchen set, which I use so much, I think it looks really cute and the wood tones on it are really nice. And then just doing a little bit of decorating. And so we've got the living room with the modular sofas. I'm always using those modular sofas from Dream Home Decorator. I just think because they can fit to any shape space that they're like such a good item in the game. And then layering up some rugs, keeping that really cozy feel that I wanted to get, really homely and cozy while being also quite modern. I think that's a nice balance. And then squeezing in the dining table, not ideal, but you know, you're not at the dining table a huge amount of the time. I'd rather give them like a nice big living space and squeeze the dining table into the corner. I really tried to make the lighting quite cute with the hanging light fixtures and things. So I think that kind of adds a little bit more character to the build. Also, sorry if you can hear my cat, she is snuggled up on my lap right now, being very cozy. And then I guess I changed the sofas. Like I said, I built this in February of 2022 and I'm recording this in January of 2023, so I do not remember everything that happened in this build. I'm kind of going through my old footage, getting all of that uploaded, and then I'm going to be making new stuff that is more recently built and getting that onto the channel. But for now I just need to get all of this footage I recorded ages ago onto the channel so it can stop taking up all of the storage on my laptop. And so I always include a lot of plants in my builds. I just think it looks really cute and very homely and cozy and realistic to have a lot of plants in your home, so I made sure to include a lot of them in this build, and as you can see, a lot of them. And then just going through some kind of like decor items, choosing what would work well in the space. That like fake like Spanish style window I think is really a cute item, but I never know where to use it. It's like a weird one, it's a very strange item. And just decorating a few more bits and bobs, making it more homely. The apron item as well that came in one of the Sims delivery drops. I love that item. I keep forgetting it exists because it's still fairly new to the game, but it's like one of the best decor items in the game. I love it. Also, if I'm not as like loud and lively as usual, it's because there are people home while I'm recording, and so I feel self-conscious. But back to the living room, putting a giant coffee table in the middle, so I think that looks really cute. Adding lots and lots of art and things around the house because I wanted it to look like modern with those big black windows and things, but I didn't want it to be so like plain and just like plain white walls and black floor and really boring. So I added a lot of clutter and a lot of art and plants and just liveliness to this build. And so yeah, just adding more clutter and decor items and bits and bobs. And I always end up using one of those tray items in like every build. I love them, they're a great item. And more plants. I was using a little bit of like debug stuff and hidden objects and having a look through them to try and find some interesting clutter items like mugs and candles and things. Obviously now we've got the clutter kit which does come with mugs, but we didn't have that at the time, and so I was using some things like that from debug. And the art pieces I just placed there, those really long framed art pieces, those are like one of my favourite wall decors in the entire game. I think they look so nice, and there's so many different options and like versions that go together, so I always use them in a lot of my builds. I feel so self-conscious that people are home while I'm recording. This is really stressful, but I really was in the mood to record. So adding the little decking on the outside. As this is a penthouse apartment, I couldn't do everything that I wanted to do, so there's like restrictions and things, but you can still add a nice decking onto the outside, so of course done that. And that little sunken garden, I think that's a fun idea I need to include in more builds because I think that looks really cute. Clearly I gave up on it on this build, but it looks really cute. And I used those bamboos to kind of block off that window. I think that is a fun idea. Still have the window, but kind of like a privacy screen of plants in the way. I think that's quite fun. And you can see there's like a pile of stuff from like debug and stuff that I found and I thought would go well in this build that I just put to the side. I was like, we'll get back to those. Sorry also that I'm like losing my voice right now. That came on the second I decided to film. I don't know how realistic it would be to have palm trees growing on the edge of a building like that. We'll just say they're fake. They're like really good fake palm trees. And again, just including lots of plants and lots of cozy furnishings like that picnic table with blankets over it and the outdoor sofas with cushions on. I use them in practically every build at this point. They're one of my favourite items. I also think it's mad that you can put pools in penthouses. I'm glad you can, but like the apartment below is just going to have your pool in their living room. So the realism kind of goes out the window there. But I'm really happy with how the outdoor space turned out on this build. I feel like you can barely tell it's a shell challenge because, like, I remind you, it's a shell challenge. So I didn't, you know, draw the exterior walls. If you're not familiar with shell challenges, it's literally, there's a weird shape building. You download it and put it in your game and make what you can with that. You can't change the exterior walls. And I feel like it actually turned out quite nice. For a shell challenge, you wouldn't really be able to tell that it was a random shape building. My cat hates when I cough. It terrifies her. And then we're on to the back garden sort of area of the build, and I was using a lot of that debug a hidden object fence where it's like a really low to the ground glass fence. I think that's a really nice item. I don't get why it needs to be a hidden object. It's, I think, technically a half wall fence topper, so it goes on top of the half walls, but I think it looks really cute. It's just like a little separation fence for like gardens and things. And then I was just trying to like figure out some different bits and bobs to go in the garden space because it's so huge that there's got to be a lot of different things going on, otherwise it's just going to be a big plain garden. And so I tried to build this like bandstand thing. I wanted to try and get the hot tub in it at one point, but it's the hot tub that came with the game for free is awful. It's such an ugly item, and so I never really use it too much in my builds. And then you can see here I'm building like a garden with trees and things. Again, not very realistic for a penthouse to have giant trees, but if you just imagine that they're not real trees, then, you know, it makes a bit more sense. But I think that looks so nice and like very jungly, but also gives you a lot of privacy from onlooking buildings. If we were to think about it realistically, you know, you've got that whole corner just kind of like covered up. So I think that's quite nice. And then bringing that all the way around, it's kind of hard in a way to follow the shape of this garden as it all comes together, but when we do the little tour at the end, it will make a lot more sense. Something I wish we could do is terrain paint in penthouse buildings, because I put the grass flooring down, but I can't then terrain paint on top of it. So usually when I place items like children's swings, I would put some terrain paint under where their feet would be hitting the ground, just to make it look a bit more realistic. Also, maybe a basketball court on the edge of a penthouse apartment isn't great, because you're going to lose a lot of basketballs over the fence. So you're going to have to get good at it very quickly so you don't spend out on new basketballs every day. And then we're going back to the inside, making that little entryway, just because I found some cute objects that would go well in there. And there was like a flash on the screen of that outdoor fire pit area. Don't worry, we'll go through it all in a little tour at the end. So if you've missed any fun little bits and bobs that I've built, you will see it all at the end. And so getting back onto more of the interior decoration, getting some of those bedrooms decorated. And I was really into, at this point, like this very tropical, islandy kind of feel. So I really reflected that in this bedroom particularly, because of all of those like palm trees and plants outside. I just thought this went together quite nicely as a theme for the whole apartment. And so the bedrooms themselves are really squished and small. Usually I would just make the bedrooms bigger, but this is a shell challenge, so you've got to work with what you've got. And so I just did my best to squeeze it all in, and did manage to get a bedside cabinet next to each side of the bed. So that works out quite nicely. And so then just trying to fit any furniture I can into this bedroom to make it a little bit more realistic and playable. I think it turns out to be quite a cozy space, but maybe not ideal if you're actually going to live in something for it to be that tiny of a room. But it does look really, really cozy and cute. And you've got those nice big windows as well, so it wouldn't feel too claustrophobic, and those sheer curtains over it as well, because you're not really going to be looked over by any other buildings. And also, even though it's a small room, I still fitted a lot of decor in by putting shelves and things, and obviously lots of plants to keep with the theme. But just making sure that it actually looks nicely decorated, to stop it feeling like just a little room with just a bed shoved in it. Also, my laptop is on my feet, just propped up so I can see it, and it is burning me. It's like 6 years old or like 7 years old, this laptop, and she does not run very well. But as you can see, I placed loads of clutter items, magazines, hairdryers, blankets, all sorts of things in this room, and I think it does make it look a lot more realistic to have all of these random bits and bobs in your bedroom. Which is why I'm so happy we've got that new clutter kit in the game, because I really like adding clutter to my builds. And you can see here the bathroom, which I've blocked off the window with those slats on one side and with the bamboo on the other to make it like a bit more private. Like, I could have added blinds, but I wanted to try out something different and just make it a little bit more unique. So I did that, and again, more plants. Always more plants in this build. My voice is disappearing. And so yeah, you can see lots of clutter in this build as well. I really wanted it to make it look lived in, so plants and towels and all sorts of things like that. And I like how I placed that little rug under the sink there. I think that looks really cute, like a teeny little runner, just to make it cozy. And then we're onto the kids' bedroom, and this wasn't too long after bunk beds had arrived, so I had to include those in this build. Trying to get my voice back. And so I made this room, like all of them, very cozy, very cluttered, very cute, and just very homely. I like making like a bedside cabinet of shelves for the higher bunks on bunk beds, because realistically you'd want to have something to be able to reach while you're in bed, and so I thought that's quite a nice little thing to add, because real life you'd put your drink there or something while you're in bed. And then I added a little desk. I love the one tile desks. I think those are so useful in gameplay and we need more of them. But this one went perfectly with this room. And then just trying to fit in as much bedroom furniture as I can and making it still realistically lived in looking. So like the mirror with the stickers on it and little pieces of art and lots of clutter and toys and things. In my mind it's more of a teenager room than like a little kid's room, but you know, I still had to include like a couple little toys and things because you don't just get rid of them as soon as you age up to teen. So there's a doll's house and things like that. I put those little like skateboard items on the wall as well. That's such a fun item I always forget to use, and so it's nice to include stuff like that in like a more teenager centric room. I think that just really kind of ties it all together and decorates the room nicely. So I think at this point now we're on to the tour of the entire build. So you can see the entryway where you step out of the lift, you've got somewhere to chuck your coats. This in my mind is like the public could go up the lift into this section, so I didn't really include a huge amount in here, and I put a separate door coming off of it into the main area of the apartment because realistically people can go up a lift, you know, and into that space. But still you get like a nice view out of the big windows and the light can travel through into the rest of the house. And you're getting a little glimpse of the garden from there and just like a hangout space, you know, if you're like ready to go and you're just getting your shoes on, somewhere to sit. So yeah, I thought that was quite a nice little space. For some reason it's not showing ceiling. Oh, it is. It just looks like the sky, but it is showing ceiling. It's just the same colour as the sky. So you've got the little kitchen, L-shaped kitchen, and the living room. There are people walking by my bedroom. And those big doors out of the living room to the garden. It looks so homely and like such a nice space. I even put a little school project down in the corner, like the kids have been using that space to work. I think it looks like a really cute space and I love this build so much. Even like all of the clutter on the shelves and things, honestly, I'd live here. And so that's the living room. And then the kitchen space, I left the dining table bare because just gameplay wise, you don't want to have loads of stuff in the way of that. Oh, we've got some glitches. And then the kitchen, I put a decent amount of clutter, but I wanted to leave those counters open enough so the Sims could still use them to actually cook. So yeah, we've got a little bit of clutter in there. Pots and pans hanging up and the aprons and all of your spices and things and your little spice garden on the wall. I thought that was really cute and lots of lovely clutter. And those Japanese style lights as well, which I think are beautiful. And then we are on to, wow, it's clearly like glitching a lot while I'm trying to do this, but we're on to the master bedroom. So you've got a lovely, realistically cluttered looking dresser and mirror, and you've got that big window with the shelves over it with all of the plants and things, so it's like privacy but the light's still coming in. I think it looks really cute. And then the bed with those bright orange bedside cabinets that I think are so cute. I need to use those more often because they're really cute. And lots of art around the bed and that view. That is like gorgeous. So then on to the next room, or on top of the fridge. And so this is the two teenagers' room. And so you've got their bunk bed, but they're not just right on top, you know, it's like angled, so it's a little bit more, I don't know, it seems a little bit more separate, if that makes sense. And then you've got some nice clutter, lots of plants and books and things that a teenager would enjoy in their room. And it doesn't have to match perfectly with the rest of the house because they, you know, would be teenagers decorating their own bedroom to their own tastes, and so some of the things don't go perfectly with the general vibe of the whole house. So I think that's really realistic. But they've got, sorry, it keeps glitching. They've got their little desk where they can do their homework. They've got a doll's house because they may be younger end of being a teenager. Gorgeous view out into the garden, all like hanging plants and stuff out there, so pretty. And the dresser, one each for each of the teenagers in the room. And then I'm assuming we're going to go on to the bathroom next. See, the ceiling's disappeared. Yeah, so the bathroom, not super private, but it's the Sims, so they don't mind. Beautiful shower, and then it keeps glitching. And then you've got the little sink area, cluttered up with your products and your towels and all sorts of things. When I filmed this, my Sims game had this horrible glitch whenever I would go into tab mode and try and look at things from that like first person view. As you can see here, it kept doing that a lot. My newer videos won't have that because it doesn't do that anymore. When I was filming this particular video, it had this major issue with there, as I'm showing you, doing that. So there we go. As you can see, the sink area, I think it looks really cute. Maybe a bit too much clutter, like you haven't really got space to put anything down, but it's The Sims. It doesn't really matter. And then the toilet, I would have liked to include a bath in this room, but I think the layout just worked a lot better just having the shower. And there's no toddlers in this apartment anyway, so you didn't really need to have a bath in the room. And put that little bath mat though underneath the shower, so when you step out you're not just going straight onto the wooden floor. I thought that was nice. And there you can see the privacy over the window with the bamboo vertically and the horizontal slats. I think it looks quite nice. And then the garden with that lights along the pathway as you walk out. It's so pretty. I love this build so much. So you're on a platform and looking out over the garden. You've got this nice seating area with a little rug in the middle, nice and cozy. There are people outside my room. And then you've got like a barbecue area with a bench so the whole family can sit and have a little meal outdoors together, and a column holding up the roof that covers over this little area. Really goes with the jungly but like modern theme. So I think that's really cute. And a little love seat in the corner, just hidden away. And then over here you've got this huge sofa around a fire pit, all of your plants in your little garden as well. Birdhouse, vases, like beautifully decorated space. I love it. And these big lanterns hanging up as well. So at night time it's gonna glow and look really pretty. You've got that tree garden around there, and then the pool. Like I say, not realistic for a penthouse to have a pool in this way. Oh well. As you can see, it's like a really long, thin pool. There's like lily pads. Wow, I could not get that word out. There's like lily pads and candles and like a little tray of drinks all floating in it. It's very like luxury resort in Bali, you know, like very tropical and luxury. And there's all plants lining the edge. Don't know what's going on there. There's all plants lining the edge. There's a little fish fountain putting water into the pool. It just looks so like tranquil and peaceful. And you've got that fence that's like, you can still see the view but you're still getting a little bit of privacy. I think that works really nicely in this particular build. And then you go around to the sort of like back garden area of the build, and you've got the big spa bath, like Japanese bath, from the Mount Komorebi pack. What is that called? Snowy Escape. And so this is one of the best parts of this build. It's just this beautiful spa bath set into a platform. It looks so nice and cozy and relaxing. And then there's a whole area for the kids. Ignore my sim in the corner. You know, with like games and swings and basketball and all sorts of things for them to do. And then you can see like a little relaxing area for the parents to hang out. You've got sunbeds and sofas and rugs and just so many plants. You can see to both of the bedrooms of the apartment as well. And then there's like a little plant garden as well over there. There's loads of plants and stuff in this house, and I think it's so pretty. Hanging plants as well from a little roof section over that little area over there. And then I put some pipes and gardening equipment there because I thought realistically someone's got to be doing a lot of gardening in this build. And so this is it from with the roof up, you know, so you can see the general layout of the whole garden. So you've got the main area where you step out into the garden on that big platform. There we go. The fire pit under that glass roof, the pool, which leads you around to that Japanese bath, and then the kids area at the back, and a few solar panels as well. I want to stop saying so much in my videos, by the way. It bothers me too. But I'm feeling nervous today. But yeah, you can see how pretty it looks, and then we're gonna have a quick look at how it looks at nighttime as well, because I put a lot of pretty lighting in this build. So you can see all of the pretty lighting at nighttime. It just looks so gorgeous. In those plant gardens as well, I put a lot of lighting hidden under the plants so they really light up in the night. I think that looks really nice. And the pool as well with the candles, that looks really cute. And then there's a lot of lights up around the Japanese bath, like lots of candles, very spa vibes. And then in the kids area I put loads of fairy lights along the wall, which I think really matches the idea of that little area being for the kids. And it looks really cute, and I think very realistic as well, that you just put up some fairy lights in your garden, so I really like that. So thank you so much for watching. Sorry if I wasn't as energetic as usual, just people can't hear me. And I know I'm posting this on the internet for everyone to see, but I don't want people to hear me recording. So thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this. I'm going to try and actually record newer builds to post, as well as getting through some of my older footage that I want to actually get onto this channel. So newer videos won't have these awful glitches and things that my game used to have, until new glitches come along, obviously. But I really hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you know any interesting shell challenges I should try, or any build challenges in general. I always love to hear your ideas. And subscribe if you aren't already. Comment something nice if you'd like to. And I'll see you in the next one. Thank you. Bye.